Ms. Molinaro, aye. Mrs. Hickson?
Aye.
Mr. Ocampo?
Aye.
Ms. Morris? Dr. Fisher?
Aye.
Ms. Barberhand?
Aye.
Ms. Smith? Ms. Smith?
We'll read that.
Motion carries.
And right now we have a special guest with us. We have Cub Scout Pack 73 who is going to post the colors. And then after they post the colors, we will say the Pledge of Allegiance together.
We are Cub Scout Pack 73. Thank you for inviting us to present the colors. Color guard attention. Audience, please rise. Scout salute. Those not in uniform, please place your right hand over your heart. Color guard forward march. Halt. Post the colors.
Illinois goes on up the wood. Not this one. That's a lot. Okay.
Color guard, salute and honor your colors. Audience, please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Color guard, return to ranks. Forward march. Color guard halt. Audience, please be seated.
Thank you, Cub Scout Pack 73. Ms. Molinaro, will you please read the vision statement?
Through expectations of excellence and by providing equitable educational opportunities to empower each student, our graduates are prepared for college careers and to serve as contributing members of a dynamic global society.
Thank you. We're now going to go to item 7. We have a resolution that the board is going to approve tonight regarding immigration enforcement and ensuring safe and inclusive learning environments for our students. The board thinks that it's very important to show support of all of our students, making sure they feel safe, welcome, and protected while they are at school. So may I have a motion to approve the Board of Education resolution regarding immigration enforcement and ensuring safe and inclusive learning environments for students as presented?
So moved.
Second. Ms. Molinaro, please call the roll.
Ms. Molinaro, aye. Mrs. Hickson?
Aye.
Mr. Ocampo? Ms. Morris?
Aye.
Dr. Fisher?
Aye.
Ms. Barberhand?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Can we check to make sure that she's connected?
Motion carries.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. I
Thank you. Okay, we are now going to move on to public comments. At this time, the Board of Education opens the floor for public comments. The board will receive public comment from any individuals present this evening and have submitted a request to address the board for the established procedures. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes in accordance with Board Policy 2230. We believe that all participants in the meeting desire the best outcomes for our students, families, and communities. As a reminder, this meeting is being live streamed and will also be archived and available on the district website. Ms. Mulner.
Michaela Soto.
Good evening, board. Today I'm going to read a letter from Proviso Teachers Union President Dr. Wardasani. I am writing to express a deep concern and strong objection to the recent Freedom of Information Act response included that mischaracterized and undermined the professionalism of a Proviso teacher. These comments were inappropriate, unsubstantiated, and wholly unnecessary to the intent of requirements of the FOIA process. The teacher referenced in the response is a dedicated educator, a valued member of our community, and an unwavering advocate for both our students and families within our district. The inclusion of personal commentary that questions their integrity or professional standing is not only unethical, but also damaging to the trust that should exist between the district administration, our educators, and the broader community we serve. It is imperative that all official communications, including FOIA responses, remain objective, factual, and free of personal bias or commentary. When official documents are used to cast judgment or diminish the reputation of an employee, it creates a chilling effect throughout the entire educational community. Teachers deserve to know that their dedication to students and their district will be recognized and protected, not politicized or publicly misrepresented. I respectfully request that the board, 1, conduct an immediate review of the language used in the FOIA response and determine how such commentary was ever permitted to be released. 2, issue the formal clarification, accountability, and restore the confidence of the professionals who serve the community with dedication and pride. Respectfully, Dr. John Wardasani. Thank you.
Thank you. Claudia Vanderveer.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
First of all, I love the kids. That was so cute. All right, so I'm going to be real brief. I'm doing a follow-up in reference to when I was here at, I think, the last board meeting, letting you guys know about the changes as far as the tax increment financing initiative that our leadership is trying to impose, in which, like I said, as far as the schools are concerned, is going to limit the amount of tax revenue that you will be able to collect, for the next 23 to 35 years. It's important because in the upcoming months, you guys are going to be doing your tax levy request. And for those who do not know, the tax levy is basically the school or the park district or whatever taxing body requesting a part of however much taxes are collected. Well, just today, I'm not sure how or where you are, the mayor of Maywood has taken to the social media streets and basically has posted a letter that is kind of chastising the schools and the park district and the library and blaming you guys for why our taxes are increasing. And this is not an isolated incident. At a recent tax appeal in which the Board of Review hosted, the mayor's recorded saying that the Village of Maywood is not responsible for why your tax bill is so high. It is only the schools, the park district, and the library that is solely responsible. I have the video, I can post it. So I'm bringing this to you guys just to make the people in the community aware that if this initiative goes forward, how detrimental it's going to be as far as the funding for all of those different particular entities. And I'm not going to go too far in depth, but like I said, knowledge is power. And as somebody who is a teacher, to have a mayor call into question compensation for our teachers. As a teacher myself, you guys are underpaid as is for the hard work that they do. And for that to be undermined for political purposes is totally unacceptable. So I just encourage you guys, when you do the tax levy, to try and be as transparent with the people about the reason for the increases and then specifically how the money is being used. So that being said, I'm going to stop there, but I thank you for your time.
Thank you. And that ends our public comment session for this evening. Thank you.
Do we have any recognitions?
We do. And I'm excited to talk about recognitions because we're creating a constant flow of how we will be doing recognition. So there have been times where we haven't recognized any staff or students, and to ensure that we always are recognizing someone, the school principals have come together, and in each of their buildings, they've created ways to create Students of the Month. And so at each and every board meeting, the principals will have an opportunity to identify and acknowledge those students that they have designated as their Students of the Month. And we still reserve the right as a board to also recognize others. So this time, I'm going to turn it over first to our Principal Hall, our host of the evening, to discuss his Student of the Month program.
Good evening, board. Mr. Mohip and Deputy Superintendents and everyone else here. I'm proud to stand here. I'm going to introduce Janida Crenshaw. She's a 4-year Proviso student. She is not PEMSA. She's a Proviso student. She's currently carrying a 3.49 GPA. She's made the honor roll every quarter that she's been here. She's ranked number 22 in her class. She's a member of the National Honor Society. She's also on the girls' dance and the competitive dance team. She has applied to multiple colleges and universities, and just last week she was accepted at Bradley University in a nursing program and received a $104,000 scholarship. She's also an office assistant, volunteering in my office daily, and she's completed 40 hours of community service. She is here with her mother, Ms. Hampton, who are both in attendance. Janelle, your mom coming up. Still a bashful. Yeah.
Thank you for the recognition.
Hi everyone, I'm her mom, Fran Hampton, and like Dr. Hall mentioned, it's such an honor for her to get this recognition tonight. She's been through a lot, trying within this last 5 months, but in all, she's still come on top and she's still getting offers. She just got another $100,000 from Drake University, so we have we truly appreciate it. I know more is coming for her, so we'll see where she ends up going. But we thank you, Dr. Hall, for this honor tonight.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I didn't get that check last week. I got it at 9:40, so I guess it's not late enough. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Hall. Next, we have Dr. Sanchez from PMSA.
When I started this board, when I started this, deputy directors, and when I started this community. So at PMSA, one of the things we worked on early on is really institutionalizing celebrating students. So we came up with a program that honors students both based on their academic merit, but also as citizens that we want to exhibit in society, right? So we have Student of the Month. We have 4, 1 per grade level. And then we have Python of the Month, which is a student who exhibits our motto, driven by excellence and grounded in kindness. So first, our 12th grader, Taylor Bayman. Taylor I met on my first days here at PMSA, she was one of the students who volunteered for freshman orientation. So she was not only showing freshmen around, she was actually showing me around as well. Taylor has an astonishing GPA of 5.152. Again, 5.152. Taylor, baby. Do you want to say some words?
Thank you, board, and thank you, Dr. Sanchez, for this recognition. I don't think I would have been able to do this without the foundation set by PMSA.
Next, we have Isaac Fernandez, 11th grader with a 5.143 GPA and perfect attendance this year. Alexander Bupachi, he is a 10th grader with a 5.143 GPA. Brandon Sandoval is our 9th grader. GPA hasn't been calculated yet for him, but he has straight A's, and again, perfect attendance this year. So I failed to mention that Python of the Month not only honors a student, but also a teacher. The student that's going to be honored today is Ceci Cortez. A little bit about Ceci. When we talk about kindness, Ceci exhibits that. Ceci and her friend Emmanuel were solely responsible for coordinating, developing our Latino Assembly, which was a huge success. We had a great amount of parents, and then the next day our students were able to watch it. They invited kids from other schools and had a conversation with them afterwards, and it was all led by Ceci and Emmanuel. Ceci has been an amazing individual around the school. She does our announcements, and she holds a very strong GPA as well. Ceci Cortez.
I want to say thank you to Dr. Sanchez and thank you to the board. I never thought we would have such a wonderful principal coming into PMSA, one that leads us and creates so many opportunities that allow people within our school to grow and develop as a human. Thank you.
I didn't prompt her to say that, by the way. And then our educator, our Python of the Month educator is Ms. Stampor. Ms. Stampor has poured her soul and time into really helping our students out. Like I mentioned, the Latino Assembly, she was here various hours after school, homecoming, and then the next day came right back and did it all again with a smile on her face. So Ms. Stampor is our Python of the Month. Thank you, board.
Thank you, Dr. Sanchez. Next, we have Principal Christian Proviso West.
Good afternoon. Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I was thinking y'all didn't want to talk to me. Y'all was talking to those others. No, I'm excited that on October 20th at Proviso West, we have a theme this year. That theme is real simple. It's called Better. And so our desire is to improve our school and make our school nothing but better. So on October 20th, we'll be celebrating our students, and especially the students that I'm going to name here. Neither one of them are here. I asked them to come, and they said they didn't want to come to East. So I just wanted to make sure that, they stayed kind of in the best place at West. So to that end, on October 20th, we have about 20 students that we are going to celebrate in something that we're going to do every month called our Leader of the Pack. And these are our Panthers of the Month. And there are one student that are selected from each of the different departments that show exemplary skills, not just in academics, but also in whether they're in the sport or in social emotional learning or in tutoring and community service and things of that nature. But one of the things I'm really excited about is at West this year, we created something that I've done at other schools entitled our Student Leadership Team, our SLT. And so I told them that today I would honor them and that they would also be featured next month as well by coming to kind of greet you. So I wanted to name several of our students that are on our student leadership team. This team is responsible for leading the school. In fact, they're responsible for some of the things that we're doing aesthetically around the school. They're responsible for some of the decisions that we make as school leaders. They're responsible for telling me what's working well in their school and what's not working well in their school. And they also keep my ear to the ground as it relates to what things that they really want to see accomplished in their school. So here are the names of our student leadership team that should be celebrated and commended for their work and meeting with me now once a week for over the past 3 weeks. Talia Qualls, Devin Gibbons, Aiden Party, Tamaya Allison, Crystal Northfleet, Crystal Carrasco, Jamelia Santiago, Elena Smith, Janaya Sneed, Maggie Vargas, and Ray Nayana Tolston, Skyla Sanders, and our newest member who said they had to be on the team because this is one of their last years being in our school, Aaliyah Mendez. I am really excited that those students come to my office once a week. They sit around the round table and they tell me, hey, Principal Christian, this is what's going on in our school. Principal Christian, this is what we want our school to feel like. This is what we want it to look like. This is what we are expecting from you as our leader, but this is what we are also going to be expecting from ourselves. They are the students that are telling me, hey, we have to put an end to some of the things that are currently happening in their school as it relates to tardies or as it relates to discipline issues. And so I'm excited that each of these students will not only be leaders within the school themselves, but they will show us as adults how to be leaders abroad in our community. So a round of applause for our team, please.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us at East today. I want to take a moment to reflect on the incredible experience we had just shortly ago. We had an evening with Minnie Jean Brown-Trickey, and it was truly an honor and privilege to welcome her to our district. She was an original member of the Little Rock Nine and a lifelong advocate for civil rights, social justice, and equity in education. Events like this are a testament to our district's commitment to providing educational experiences that go beyond the classroom. They inspire us to continue fostering environments where history is honored and where the next generation is empowered to lead with purpose and passion. I'd like to thank Mr. Mohit for organizing this evening and also ensuring that each school, East, West, and PMSA got an opportunity to meet and talk with her and ask questions and have conversations. I also want to take a moment to speak to an important matter on the horizon, the district's proposed tax levy of 2.9%. Maintaining a responsible and stable levy is essential to ensuring that our schools have the resources they need to support academic achievement, student wellness, extracurricular opportunities, and a safe learning environment. A 2.9% levy allows us to continue investing in our students and staff while being mindful of our community's financial realities. It reflects an ongoing commitment to fiscal responsibility and educational improvement excellence. I just wanted to end with a quick shout out that this Friday is the Proviso West homecoming game. It's at 7:30 p.m. So I hope that we see a lot of support and a lot of faces. I know the East game was packed, so let's pack it at West as well. I said a blue one, Mr. Hall. And with that, I just want a heartfelt thank you to Ms. Brown-Trickey for sharing her story and really inspiring all of us to be better. So, thank you.
I think it's my turn. So,
it's your turn.
Yeah, I echo all of those things. But before I begin, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Hill for, as you mentioned, thank you for your statement around the tax levy, but Dr. Hill is going to dive into our tax levy and what it means for the community and what it means for us.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So this evening I will be presenting a tentative tax levy, and the presentation will be as follows. So this is our timetable for the estimated time levy. October 14th, which is today, I would just provide the estimated tax levy, which is presented to you today. And the goal is to have the Board of Education approve the tax levy on November the 12th, 2025. And once that happens, then we will make sure we take our tax levy documents down to the Cook County clerk because they need to be there by the last Tuesday in December. So this is the timetable which we will follow. So this slide right here highlights 3 major factors that must be weighed when making a levy decision. So number 1, financial stability, right? So how the levy choice affects the district's long-term fiscal health and fund balance reserves. 2, educational quality, whether the district can sustain quality programs and staffing levels while meeting financial targets. And last but not least, facility condition versus educational services. So overall, it does encourage like a balanced approach, ensuring that financial responsibility without compromising the student programs and the facility upkeep. I do want to speak to this as well. So when we're making a levy decision, we must look beyond the immediate numbers and consider the long-term impact, specifically how this decision will affect our financial stability, the quality of our educational programs we provide, and the condition of our facilities. The goal is to strike a balance, maintaining strong reserves while still supporting our students and sustaining essential services. Next here, I want to talk about the CPI. So this slide here shows the Consumer Price Index history, which determines how much districts can levy each year under the tax cap law. For 2025, the tax levy, the applicable CPI is 2.9%, which is what we're requesting today, meaning revenue growth is limited to the lesser of inflation, either 2.9, the cap is at 5%. So this chart just basically highlights the history of tax caps here throughout Cook County, but more so, I would like to bring up the fact that for 2025, this is the lowest that it has been in many years. Last year, the tax levy increase was about 3.4%. And then prior to that, 2 years in a row, it was at 5%. Because we want to make sure that we're very conscious about our taxpayers and what we're asking them to do. So we just asked for just a bare minimum, which was the 2.9%. We do understand it's a strain, but I gave you estimations as to why. The next slide here is the breakdown of the revenues. Nice little pretty chart, right? So this chart shows that real estate taxes here in Proviso District make up 63% of our primary funding source. And then you see the breakdown as it relates to our evidence-based funding, which is at 18%, our federal grants, which is at 6%, state grants at 5%, and other local sources at 8%. So as shown here, the majority of our revenue, which makes up about 2/3, do come from our property taxes. And because of this heavy reliance on local tax dollars, levy decisions directly impact our ability to maintain program staffing and facilities across the district. So right here is what you see as the recommended tax levy for levy year 2025, which includes the 2.9 increase that was discussed earlier. This is the maximum allowed under the CPI cap. The proposed tax levy is $78.6 million compared to the $76.4 million in 2024. And the increase primarily supports the following areas: education, operations and maintenance, and the transportation funds, all which are vital for instruction, facilities, and transportation services. It captures the full allowable increase to maintain financial stability and keep pace with our current inflation. Now, if the district chooses not to capture this allowable increase, it will lose approximately 2.5% each year in revenue, and that amount each year thereafter, because future levy growth in tax cap counties is permanently based on the prior year's extension. So in other words, now, this is a very good slide that I always like to share, which is the estimated impact to taxpayers. And this is assuming if this is a $300,000 market home value, okay? So let's say the home is at $300,000. That's what it's worth at the moment. The portion of that tax bill will approximately be about $52 per year, which is roughly $4.33 per month. And for the average homeowner, we know times are really hard, and we make note of that. We understand that. But this is a very modest increase. And as mentioned earlier, it's basically to sustain our educational services and our facilities needs. The next slide here is what we are mandated to do. We have to speak about the Public Act 103-0394 report. And this basically compares the district's operational expenses and fund balance of $92.8 million, while the projected balance as of June 30th is approximately $59.2 million. This represents a fund balance ratio of about 63.78%. This represents, and so this is to cover more of our operating costs over those course of years and provides a cushion against unexpected costs. We all know the condition our country is in right now. There's a lot of uncertainty, so it's very important that we do have some reserves set aside just in case something were to happen. We can lean on that. That concludes the tax levy presentation for this evening.
Are there any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Compared to other districts around us, are we pretty much in the same range everyone else is currently, or are we lower as to what we're asking for?
Well, so I have been asking some neighboring districts, and it was shared with me that some of them would be asking for like the max, like 4.9, 4.8% increase. I was comfortable for the sake with the 2.9%, reason being it's the lowest that we have asked, in quite some time. But we do recognize that these are hard times for all, of our community members. But there are some districts that are asking for higher than 2.9.
Thank you.
No, thank you for asking.
And just to clarify, right, the levy for 209, each elementary district within Proviso does their own tax levy,
That is correct.
Which is distinct and separate from
That's
just
correct.
to be clear that the 209 tax levy does not cover all of Proviso's elementary schools.
No, it does not. This is just strictly for our concern here. Yes. Next up is the treasurer's report that everyone has. So, there continues to be a delay in the collection and release of our property tax revenues from Cook County. And this ongoing delay has resulted in our district's cash flow. So revenue that we were expected to receive, we have not as of yet. However, the business office and other districts and counties in the area, we are continuing to monitor the situation closely, and we expect to see a turnaround soon. But if you take a look at our treasurer's report, as I stated earlier from the tax levy presentation, 64% of our revenue comes from taxpayers, right? So if we have not received that revenue, then it will explain why right now, as of today, we've only received 6% of our proposed revenue. If you recall, last year around this time, we have received approximately about 34 to 35%. But right now, because of the tax collection delay, we're spending more than what we are bringing in. So it's our hope that that situation will change soon, but it's just not Proviso that is affected by it. It's all the school districts, that are in the Cook County region. Are there any questions pertaining to the treasurer's report?
Is there an estimated timeline of when that would be?
That's a great question. We ask that every day.
Okay.
Every day I see this report, I just shed tears because I'm not seeing this. I'm all about the revenue. So when I see more going out than coming in, it provides a sense of anxiety, so to speak. So yes, we all been following and trying to figure out, what's going on. Yes,
This is the reason that we need to have a reserve. This is the reason why the state requires a reserve, so when things like this happen, it's not the first time that cook-on payments have been delayed.
Yes.
It will not be the last time. And that's why we continue to carry a reserve that we believe is a responsible amount. We're not trying to grow those reserves to over 100%, and we're not trying to draw down below the 50% line. So we're right in a good space, and that's why we, again, back to this levy consideration, we want to make sure that we continue to operate in a fiscally conservative piece, so that we have the funds available should things like this occur. So districts that have not been able to carry reserves and be good stewards of their dollars are in a tougher situation right now than we are in. But thankfully, to the work of Dr. Hill and this board over the years, we are in a space where we are comfortable, even though we know these funds are.
And right now, just to add on to what Superintendent Mohib saying, in relation to reserves, last year around this time, we had about 6 months of reserves. We are close to 9 months now. So that helps us in this situation here. Next up is the bill list. It is pretty hefty, as you see from the treasurer's report. More is going out as opposed to what's coming in. But are there any questions pertaining to the bill list?
What is the Gilbane for? Is that for the project at West?
That is, yes, for the current ongoing project, yes.
Perfect.
Any questions, other questions pertaining to the bill list? Okay, that
One
concludes
question,
that.
Dr. Hill. One
Yes,
question. So
yes,
with
yes.
Amazon, do we still continue to have that credit?
Yes, we still have a nice credit with Amazon, and as you can see, everyone is happy. We're back on board with Amazon, so we're still following it and just making sure we stay within our 30 to 45 day payment turnaround with them. And because of that, you know, I'm pretty sure more credit will be extended to us soon. But we only use Amazon for everything related as not grants. So all district related expenses, we use Amazon, but then we also use our other vendors as well.
Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions pertaining to the bill list? Okay, that concludes the presentation from the business office today. Have a great evening.
Real quick, Dr. Hall, just want to
Yes,
make sure.
ma'am.
Ebony, can you hear? Did you have any questions? I'm sorry, Ms. Smith, did you have any questions?
Okay.
I just want to make sure.
Okay, absolutely.
All right, moving on to the report. I do want to just provide an update on our role of the Director of Security and the work that they do. So to do that, I have Mr. Aaron Peppers here to walk us through, you know, what he does and, you know, the typical day of the role, what the overall role is for the year, and be able to answer any questions about the work that he does here in the district.
Good evening. How you guys doing?
Good evening.
All right. We'll start off with the safety and security role. It's basically to oversee all security guards, follow through with professionalism and support for all staff and students, assist students in security with specific needs, uniforms, overtime, secure various locations, including outside parking lots, crossing guards, bathrooms, hallways, cafeteria, buses, and after-school activities. Also through our, so they're able to get inside the building and use the gates adjacent. Post overtime daily in reference to the collective bargaining agreement, seniority rotation for all security guards. Provide training in ALICE. I don't know if you guys are familiar with ALICE in reference to alert, lockdown, inform, counter, and evacuate. We have rally points. We go through training monthly here. Going on. Red meaning weather. Green would be all clear. Yellow is ALICE, and blue is lockdown. So I'm part of the crisis team and development team that's led by Dr. Alvarez. We had a meeting today. We getting those things together. We have a Raptor drill management system in reference to all the drills that the principals hold at the school. We can upload it through our Raptor management system to the state to save them some work. We have CT scanners. That's in reference to, as you guys would probably say, TSA security checkpoints at the airports. So we have those things. Everyone is trained on those things. Let's see here. Did we skip one? Okay. So we can go over basically a daily schedule of me. So a routine schedule is I wake up, come to the school, check front line, make sure everybody is in place, make adjustments when they're not in place, check emails, check text messages, communicate with all principals or supervisors, so to speak, liaisons as they're named, deans at specific schools, contact them for all updates, make adjustments, make sure we're on point with our security checkpoints, because sometimes we have to make adjustments according to attendance. Ensure that security is covering all assigned areas before the kids are released out of the cafeteria, and make sure we're in place to, secure the kids and make sure they're doing the things they need to do conducive for them to be successful. Offer support to faculty, staff, or any administrators for any needs that they have. Make sure we communicate with all administrators with all their concerns. Once we get to that level, then anything that's pressing, make sure I drop everything and put out those fires immediately, to support the staff, faculty, or either any other students that something might happen. Make sure we immediately assist with all types of those concerns, and then it's on to the next school. Repeat that at that school, go to the next school. But sometimes I get interrupted with something that comes up that's an emergency type situation. And then if the principals or any of the deans that are quote unquote the liaisons to me in reference to security.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you always start your day at the same school, or do you switch it up, like Mondays are this school, Tuesdays are that school?
I'll switch it up. And I can talk to you offline of the routine. I don't want anybody knowing.
No worries,
Oh,
no
yeah.
worries. I got you.
That's right.
As long as I know
We
you
don't want
switch
them
it up.
knowing.
Do you have any expectations, like the students have expectations with the phone homes and putting their phones up? Are there any expectations within the security department on cell phone usage?
Yeah, put them away. When you're working, do your job, be professional, use customer service skills that we train on, that I teach them throughout the months. Try and do your job.
And there's no personal cell phone use to make calls, right? It's through walkie-talkie, so security guards.
Oh yeah, we communicate with our
Right. So nobody's using their.
Well, no, sometimes they might, because it might be something urgent, but that's quick.
Okay.
That's quick. That's not surfing or anything on the internet. That's yeah.
Are there any items or concerns that you have that parents and community should be aware, like things that you're seeing happening in the school, just for instance, drug use, things like that that's happening throughout our schools and in the district that the parents should be aware and just be mindful of, as when their kids are home and talking to them.
Oh, well, yeah, definitely. I would say vaping. That's one of the major concerns with our teenagers today. Sometimes I really believe that some of them need counseling, because if you use all that energy just to get a vape in the school, then let's use that energy and try and get education.
And that's not the role of the security guards.
Oh, no.
Right.
They notice.
Right. Once they notice that, they would bring that to a dean or assistant principal, and those are the individuals in the school that would assign any types of supports or follow up or phone calls from parents.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. I understand that part. I was just wondering if there's anything, as a parent, if there's something that's common right now that's happening amongst the teenagers that, as a parent, I may not have any idea about. But security sees a lot of things that maybe everyone else don't see.
Right. I would say to just make sure we take full advantage of communication, and try and make sure the kids aren't being bullied and things of that nature. Because sometimes a student can want to talk to a teacher or maybe a security guard and get some information, and then we can also make sure we communicate with the counselors and make sure the kid gets help.
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you instruct your security guard if they see something egregious, whether it's done by a student or an adult? What kind of documentation?
Well, I actually trained them in report writing, and the documentation we will use on the school's email system and make sure we pull it up the chain. So once I get it, I will definitely let Dr. Alvarez know, and then we'll go from there.
I mean, so it gets to you immediately, or what? Or does it? It's just an email.
Well, I always tell my security team to send me the email, but if it's something urgent like you're trying to explain, to definitely call me on the phone.
Okay.
Yeah, call me on the phone immediately so we can address it.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for.
Right.
Other than the additional scanners that I think we have in the hopper for, I think, East and West, are there any other resources or professional development or anything that you foresee your team needing?
Oh yes, ma'am. I'm glad you asked. We
While you're here, let's talk. I'm just curious.
I would love to upgrade the walk-through metal detectors.
The walkthrough.
Yeah, the walkthrough. The handhelds, they take care of themselves, but the walk-through metal detectors throughout the district. And also, I know through Mr. Taylor and Mr. Mohib that we are looking at the smaller versions of the CT scanners, because we want to make sure, because some of our schools are a little older and you don't have that type of room for other ones, so the smaller ones are conducive for us to be successful.
Any kind of professional development or training?
Well, yeah, we take care of that internally,
Right.
but the thing about it, I keep training them and keep reiterating it to them to make sure that they receive it, make sure they're receiver-centric in the communication. And really just kind of walk them through, because, everybody's different. Some people are hands-on, some people they got to see it tangible. It varies. So I just try and meet them where they are.
Is there any other training that you would like to have yourself?
There's always room for improvement. So I would honestly say that we working on professionalism, customer service, and de-escalation at this time. I think the number one thing we should lean on is de-escalation. Because de-escalation is, I know it's easier said than done to accept certain, and always assist the kid.
Thank you. Any questions?
Ms. Smith, are you still with us? Do you have any questions?
Thanks, Ms. Peppers.
Questions
for me? Is that?
No questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, well, continuing on in my report, and continuing on the theme of safety, I just want to give an update on gaggle. And now, this is something that we approved a few months back. We have it now in place. It started on September 15th. My principals are all glaring at me because since then, we have received, and I was worried that we weren't going to get any hits on this system, but we've had 305 questionable content hits on the system. So what Gaggle does is it looks through all of our district-sponsored communication tools and productivity tools that our students use. So Microsoft Office, email systems, Microsoft Teams, and in Teams there's also Teams messaging where students can message each other. This is where we're seeing most of our questionable content coming in. And so as of September 15th, there have been 305 questionable contents. 205 have been investigated and resolved. It says 100 are in progress or are new. That has probably gone down since when I created this report, because our deans, our assistant principals, our principals are constantly checking this, even on the weekends, and trying to resolve cases to make sure that our students are safe. That is the exact reason why we purchased this, was to try and keep our students safe, to intervene when students are discussing things, harm to others, harm to self, fights, relationship issues, thoughts of suicide, mental health. Like, these are the things that we're flagging. I just want to point, though, that we're going to have a conversation soon with our leaders around the Teams app. So what I've noticed is we have taken away the phones, and we've done a very good job of students not having phones in their hands. However, the Teams app is on their computer. I see a student back there smiling, and they are able to message each other on the computers. And I asked Mike Swanson to take a look at how the use of the Teams platform has, how it's compared to other years. And so, like, you know, last year the Teams app was here, and now it's like up here. So it tells me that we have extremely smart and intuitive students that will find a way. So we have to come to a decision in this district if we will take that capability away from our students. They know that we're monitoring, but they're still using it. My concern is that they're using it during the school day when they're supposed to be in class. And so that's the conversation that we need to have. But knowing if we do take away the capability for students to use Teams, student to student, our teachers can still message students, and our students can still message teachers. I think that was the design of the system, not to provide a free messaging system for our students.
So the intention was originally more for individual student to teachers.
I believe so. I was not here when it was purchased, but I think any rational administrator would say we do not want to provide a messaging service for our students. That should not be the sole purpose. It should be for communication to and from teacher and student.
So Teams has that capability then of restricting
student to student.
Okay. Would that include like groups? Like I know some clubs may use like a group, so that would not be included then, I would imagine, since it's in a group.
I would have to check with Mike Swanson in the back. We have not thought about that. But students still have they still have an email system.
Yes.
So they still have emails where a sponsor could send, instead of sending a message to the group, can send a message via email. Or it could send an email and then send a message to say, hey, check your email. The problem is our students don't necessarily check their email.
Yes.
So it would have to be retraining our students to check their email on a regular basis. And what I've learned and experienced from our students is when you ask them to do something, they do it. And it was evident when we asked them to use the phone vote system. And they have done a great job with that. Any questions about Gaggle? Well, I will say it is working. And there honestly have been a few cases where we have flagged some students and have been able to intervene. And that is really the purpose for why we bought this system. Next, I want to talk about Let's Talk. I know the board members are sick of this because every week I do give them an update on how we're doing with Let's Talk. But since we've launched in August 19th, I'm a little disappointed. We've only had 47 dialogues, which means we just have to continue to drive our community towards the Let's Talk app. Those of you that tune into my Mondays with Mohib, it's one of the first things I talk about almost every week, just reminding parents to use that Let's Talk communication system. It's the best way to get a response. I have internal goals for us, and I've shared those goals with you, that everybody, any response that comes in is responded to within 24 hours. And I'm happy to say right now we're on that. We're less than 24 hours right now. I think we're at about a 0.8. So whatever that conversion is, I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely less than 24 hours. So we're excited about that. The goal of a 9.0 in the customer rating score, we're at an 8.4 right now. We were at a 9.3, and then we did get a lower score on something. But I will say this, as we get more dialogues and more ratings, so not every single dialogue do we get a rating for. We've only got about 6 or 7 ratings, so it is going to fluctuate right now until we get to a point where the system is being used heavily, and we're getting parents and community members and users of this tool to give us that feedback score. But again, just as in Gaggle, this is working in the way that we want it to work. We just need more people to use it. So in your interactions, I know members are constantly coming to you into the community. A great thing to say is, have you logged that in the Let's Talk system? Right? I will tell you, I get anywhere between 300 to 400 emails a day. So do the deputies. So things can get lost. We try not to, but things can get lost. The nice thing about this system, it's recorded, it's flagged, there's a dashboard, I can see what's assigned to it. You can see exactly when the question came in and how long it's taken to be responded to. There's alerts if it's going beyond a certain time limit. And so it's just a great way to hold us all accountable.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
What happens if you forgot to do feedback? Can you go back in and do feedback?
There's an email. We just have to
You
go
just go
back.
back to the email.
Right. You're gonna give me a score?
No, a good score.
Yeah,
So
thank
it's
you.
like, well, shoot, I forgot to read it when I used it. And it is very effective.
Yeah. So we're excited to see how this is going to continue to be rolled out here in the district. And the last thing I want to talk about in this FOIA report is, in the superintendent's report is in regards to our FOIAs. And so I know there was a comment today. I just want to apologize to the teacher. The intent was not for it to occur in this way. But I have talked with our staff about being fully transparent with the community, and we follow the typical practice of reporting exactly what FOIA came in. And in the response to that FOIA that was in question, there was no documents responsive to it, and we responded to that. But moving forward, some things we're going to do, anytime we get a FOIA of this nature that's regarding, or similarly situated with one of our staff members, not just the teacher, but for any staff member, we just will not automatically include the name in the public board unless the misconduct that's being questioned is confirmed and naming has been legally vetted. So working with our attorneys to make sure that we can do that. If it's justified, there be a clear statement on the basis to provide the context and to protect the district. We would redact and anonymize all victims' details and other private information, again, working with legal, and then include a disclaimer indicating privacy for all parties. And so, again, it was an unfortunate incident. When we realized this, we did make that change. I did check with legal to make sure we could remove the name, and the response that I got from our legal counsel was we did not do anything out of bounds with law in regards to our original FOIA, and that by updating it, we were also solidly to grounds. So just moving forward, I think we're all learning from this. We have made changes to our FOIA system, and so this will be another change. And with that, I will move on to the next one.
All right.
So next is our information items. And so as a reminder to the audience, if you feel like we're going fast through this, the board has seen this information multiple times in numerous ways. So they've seen this information in their weekly board reports, the weekly updates that we send to them. We also have the committee of the whole meetings where we take and we spend more time talking through all of these. So next I have Alex Ashoff who will come up to discuss the testing fees.
All right, good evening, board, evening community that is present and those online and colleagues that are with us. Our first information tonight is around our advanced placement testing fees. So yearly we have a number of students enrolled in advanced placement courses. These are courses that our teachers teach. They submit a syllabus to the college board that is then approved, and then that teacher is teaching that advanced placement course through with partnership with the college board. And at the conclusion of the course, they take a high stakes test, and if they score a certain score, typically it's 3, but it depends on which college and course and whatnot, but the test is on a range of 1 through 5. If they place typically a 3 or higher, that student would get awarded college credit to that institution that they are attending. So this information item tonight is requesting the board to pay for those fees that are upcoming for this school year. And right now, we have 1,666 exams last year that were taken, just to give about an 87% testing rate, but there's some variabilities in there. A student can actually sit for an exam that they may not have taken, so there's just a little fluctuation there. We are very, very, very pleased with how our students are performing on advanced placement. You can see from the information presented, we are looking at the students that scored a 3 or higher and how that performance was from 2 years ago to now just last year. So at East, the percentage of students scoring 3 or higher rose from 15.2 to 27.4%. And then at Proviso West increased from 17.6 to 30.7%. And at the Math and Science Academy increased from 46.4 to 59.6. So a huge testament to our teachers that are teaching these courses, our students that are actually sitting and taking those exams. We're very pleased with this performance and looking to increase this. Something to be said about the investment piece. There is a fee reduction that is applied after $150,000. It's likely going to decrease substantially after that fee waiver is applied, depending on who takes it, and then how College Board calculates it. They changed a little bit, but any questions on this item? Okay. The next item, unfortunately, Dr. Ruby Ortiz was unable to attend tonight. She had a family obligation, so I'm going to go through the next several here. Otherwise, she would be presenting for us. Next up is our dual degree program. So dual degree is different than advanced placement. Dual degree, our students begin that their junior year. These are students that apply internally and at Triton, and our students that are in the dual degree program actually attend school at Triton College and take Triton level courses their junior and senior year. Upon successfully completing that program, students graduate not only with their high school diploma, but also an associate's degree, whether it's associates in arts or associates in science. This is going to be our first year at the conclusion of this school year where the current, I believe it is 8 students in that program would be graduating with both that dual degree in their high school diploma and their college diploma. We do have another, I believe it's 19 students right now that are currently in program for year 1. We are looking to expand this. So last year, the board approved 21 students with 7 from each school, Proviso East, Proviso West, and the Math and Science Academy. We again, like I said, have 19 students currently in year 1 with those other 8 students in their year 2. So we're looking at expanding that to another 21 students that we do believe that the impact that it's having for these students. I will say, and so that the community hears it too, we are heavily invested in trying to expand this and have this be done in-house and having a number of teachers that are teachers to get dual credit certified, and we are working with our partners to basically determine the feasibility of that so that our dual credit certified teachers can then stay at the Math and Science Academy and eventually hopefully other schools and teach those courses on site, so we're not paying for the ability for students to go over there and have their instructors over there. So we are looking at expanding that out and very pleased with the performance and the number of teachers interested in getting dual credit certified. And a big thanks to Dr. Ortiz and Ms. Marino and a number of individuals that have been supporting and helping our teachers apply for that, because it is a lengthy process and we appreciate their time that they're investing for our students. So right now we're looking at a potential investment of $285,000, and that is for the 21 additional year 1 students and our continuing year 2 students. Any questions? Okay. Continuing on. So our next one is dual enrollment. Again, slightly different than dual degree. Our dual enrollment, they also call it at Triton our Career Academies program. The dual enrollment courses, again, are students that are attending class at Triton. So they are bused to Triton for part of the day, whether it's the morning or the afternoon sessions, and they are attending courses over there. They are getting college credit for those classes, and the other portion of their schedule are Proviso classes. So it's just part-time over at Triton. The course offerings, you can read them on the board there, are nursing, dental assistant, sports conditioning, physical therapy, criminal justice, firefighting, welding, education, and HVAC. We are pleased last year we did have our first ever student that received the College and Career Pathway endorsement in criminal justice the board recognized. And we're certainly looking at increasing that and having more students earn that distinction that it's new to our district here. Our enrollment increased from 30 students in the 24-25 school year to 99 students. For this school year, the board had approved up to 120 students last year. We have 99 students taking advantage of that. The estimated cost, we're looking for, again, 120 students, the same that was approved last year, at approximately $95,000. Any questions on this item? All right, continuing on, we are also asking, as an information item right now, for voucher meal cards. So I believe everyone is aware that our school district provides free breakfast and lunch to all Proviso students. With some of our students attending classes at Triton that does occur during that lunch period, we've partnered with Triton. They do have an outside vendor that supplies food for them. So students, with the board's approval, will have a meal voucher card that is only good for the meals at Triton. It's very specific with how they use that, and then that is replenished every month or on a needed basis and working with those students. The estimated cost is up to $1,600 per student, with a total projected cost of $259,000 funded through that CTE and early college office. Keeping our CTE theme here, our last information item for me is around what's called a Certiport licensing purchase for career and technical education. So through CTE, that career technical education, we are vastly looking at trying to increase what they would often refer to these micro-credentials. So it's something that our CTE teachers have access to with things like Adobe, Autodesk, QuickBooks, Microsoft Office, a number of different applications that give students the skills credentials after they successfully complete these courses with Certiport. It is being offered for Proviso East, West, and the Math and Science Academy. The Math and Science Academy students are actually utilizing the Proviso East login to help save us a little bit of money. The estimated cost is just under $50,000 at $47,333. Any questions?
Is the difference between East and West because of the manufacturing program at West, or is it just more students use it?
Yeah, it's the number of licenses that we've had of students enrolled in courses.
Right.
So I can get that exact number, I do not know.
What is the possibility of getting AI or cybersecurity added to this?
As a course?
Yeah.
I would, yeah.
Question to ask.
That's a good question, yeah. We can look into that. Thank you very much.
Next, we have LT Taylor with several information items for us.
Well, good evening, Board, Superintendent Mohib, all our colleagues here, Deputy Superintendent's community. Tonight, we have a few information items for your review. We're going to start with the touring agreement here over at Proviso East West Math and Science Academy. Proviso has experienced abandoned vehicles in the parking lots for quite some time, and we've decided to propose a towing agreement to make sure that any one car that gets towed, superintendent will know for any abandoned vehicle. Additionally, this would be no cost to Proviso. This would be a cost to the owner of the vehicle only. The car will be immediately towed once the superintendent of schools approves it. And we are hoping to get this support to support our security team because we had a car at Proviso Math and Science Academy there for about 2 or 3 months. We had a couple of semis on property, abandoned cars at Proviso West. Just to give you a little background on it. Any questions about the towing agreement?
Thank you.
Oh, quick question. Just for those who do get their vehicles towed,
You would have to post something in the parking lot.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
There'll be multiple signs posted, correct?
Okay, good.
Okay, moving on to the Proviso West Fieldhouse indoor track. The track was remodeled in 2018. We plan to restripe the interior portion of the track just to make sure that it's IHSA compliant and also supporting PE classes and it's we want to just beautify that space to of operations and the financial team for review before we bid it out. Any questions about the Proviso West indoor track?
I have a question. How often would we have to pay to have, you said it was in 2018. After this time, when would be the next time it would need to be done?
In my opinion, we should do this work anywhere from every 5 to 7 years. Obvious reasons, because of the heavily utilization over there in the indoor track. We do lease that track out for Christmas and Proviso, a lot of track meets, basketball, volleyball, and we also have PE in that space. So it is no doubt heavily used. I would say anywhere from 5 to 7 years, depending on how much usage it receives.
Is the track, the materials the track is made of, is it something that we need to be mindful of who we let use it? Because I know, like, if you go to certain areas, you can't wear heels, you have to be in them shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You can't wear this, or you can't do this on certain types of materials. Certain type of flooring, rather.
Right.
Is this one of those type of situations?
Correct. When we selected the track material over Proviso West High School a few years ago, we made sure we selected Mondo track material. This is a USA track and field type of material that they use throughout the world. It is recommended that we have no hard baseballs hitting the track. Okay. You should not wear heels on the track if you're going to use off of it as well. So we do have a rubric, so to speak, that we need to follow to make sure it don't get damaged.
So when we rent this particular area out, I'm just asking, just so I can understand how we have to be financially responsible for maintaining it.
Mm-hmm.
When we rent it out, do we make sure that they understand? And I've seen plenty of people walking with heels, boots. I mean, a number of things happening on that space. I just don't want us to have to keep paying to update something that we can avoid or extend out the time period for which we need to maintain that particular floor.
Or put the expectation of repair on
exactly.
the group renting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so during our facility usage agreement, we always make sure we put those hashtags in our agreements. For an example, there's a baseball team that's locally here on the south side. To about March 1st for softball and baseball, we make sure that they do not bring in hard balls. They bring in those small plastic wiffle balls. Those are the balls I've seen them use, but you're absolutely right. I have seen people with heels on it, and when I do, I remind myself to talk to them and other team members that are in that space. To be really careful with the type of food and drink that we allow on the track as well. So we try to get in front of people to let them know that, that's not the proper way to do things, but we're not 100%, and we have to frequently remind people. You're absolutely right.
So is it any way that in the future we can start producing some verbiage in our contract to hold them like a fee? So we're charging them when they're utilizing our facility in a way of which they're not supposed to. Is there someone that kind of goes out when an event is happening to make sure those spaces? I just don't want us spending money,
absolutely.
And keep having to redo or fix things when we can avoid it. Continue. They have the expectation. We did it last year. We did. You keep coming back and doing it over year after year.
If it's standard wear and tear, meaning like, people not abusing and they're listening to us, we typically just give them a warning. But I will work with Dr. Alvarez and make sure that we have language tight enough to charge people if they're not listening. I have not experienced that, but I'm not there at every hour, every event. But the event this weekend that happened at Math and Science Academy, it was about a 9-hour event. I was there for about 3.5, 4 hours, and I did not notice anything that was egregious or harmful to the district property.
I'm more so talking about our athletic facilities where they have special flooring, special equipment, and things like that. When outside people are coming in to utilize it, I just don't want it to be,
Yeah, totally understood.
overlooked.
Yeah, we'll tighten it up.
Do we charge for rentals?
We do. So classification 1, we charge them for security and maintenance, large gatherings.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that the walls are not damaged, there's no damage to the floors, vetting it out, and if we see something, we make sure we email the Deputy Superintendent of Operations and get the superintendent involved if necessary. And also, everyone carries insurance documents. So if it gets to the point where any group that's utilizing our facility that we need to go after their insurance, Proviso Township High Schools is the certificate holder on every insurance rider that we receive for every leases our space. Proviso East and door number 4, we have severe damages at the concrete and some damaged curves that we believe is a hazard. We've received quite a few complaints about it. We want to make sure that we get this work done. Been working tightly with Dr. Hill and Dr. Alvarez to make sure that we bid this out. We had a bid review yesterday. I believe it was 8 o'clock in the morning. Dr. Hill and her team led the bid opening. We will get the results to Dr. Alvarez later this week for her review after I complete the scope review. Any questions about the concrete replacement at Proviso East?
You're talking about the half circle on First Avenue.
Yes.
Because I drop off my student there every day. I would also really like to see, right, because the traffic flows in on the, what would that be, the south side of that?
Yes.
And goes out on the north side of that. There should be no left turn onto First Avenue across all that traffic with students crossing.
Okay.
People do it just about every morning. A, it messes up the flow, and B, it's incredibly dangerous.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know there was a curb there.
Yeah, there's a research curve there.
Because there's literally no curb.
Yeah, it is in bad shape. For sure, we will make sure we work with, that's an IDOT road, that's a state road. We'll make sure we contact IDOT before we ask the police to do any signage. We'll work with the Maywood Police Department and the Cook County Police Department to see if they can give us a good pathway to make sure that happens.
Right.
And then we'll get together with Dr.
So
Alvarez.
kids are crossing, and people are then trying to turn left against a very, very busy morning
Yeah.
commute. And I've seen,
I definitely agree, yeah.
Yeah.
Causes gridlock in that area quite often.
And yes, and people get.
Okay.
I can't believe people try to make a left
And making sure that there's clear cross line paints on both sides so that people know that the kids are crossing would be great too, like on the side.
Okay.
You know, like,
All 7 of those requests have been fully responded to by the district in accordance with the Illinois Freedom of Information Act.
any old business? Any new business?
Just one comment. We just want to remind the board that we haven't lost sight of potentially adding a student board member to our group. Okay.
There's a really good podcast through IASB that had a little bit of information about student. Yes.
Okay.
So, quick question: do we need to go into any additional closed session after?
Okay, so we're good. Okay, so I guess I have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second. Call the roll.
Ms. Molinaro? Aye. Mrs. Hickson? Aye. Mr. Ocampo?
Aye.
Ms. Morris?
Aye.
Dr. Fisher?
Aye.
Ms. Barbihan?
Aye.
Ms. Smith? Motion carried 9:29.
Thank you everyone for coming. Have a good night.